Question number 1. Jocko, I keep trying to ask around my BJJ school if anyone follows S&C program.
No, you just abbreviated S&C. You know what that is, right?
No.
Oh, it's strength and conditioning.
Okay. Sure.
100%.
That's like a known thing.
That's a known thing, especially for someone that's jacked like yourself.
Who's into strength and conditioning. I've never seen that.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a
maybe
real
I don't
thing.
write that. Maybe I just do it.
Ooh, credit.
Just kidding.
Credit. Mic drop. You can go home now.
Anyway, I'm asking around my jiu-jitsu school if anyone follows a strength and conditioning program for comps, which is competition.
Very
I know
good.
that.
Nicely done. You're up on things.
Everyone keeps telling me to just roll for strength and conditioning. What do you think about that?
Okay, so rolling is obviously the base,
Sure.
right? You need to roll, and that just doesn't mean include rolling.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna go roll however it works out.
Right.
It means rolling with some kind of structure around it. So you get your short rounds.
Yeah.
You got to get your long rounds. You got to get your shark tanks. You got to get your positional drilling. You got to get your consequence-free drills, like Dean Lister makes us do consequence-free drills, where you're going to start in a position where you might get tapped out, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
Or you're going to start a position where you might lose position, but you're going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
And then Glover, that's what Dean does. Actually, Glover does the consequence drills, where you're already starting in the arm lock.
Yeah.
Like you're letting a person take your arm and you're starting there, and you're just going to see what you can get out of it. Or start in the triangle, not the triangle danger, in the triangle.
Yeah.
That's some Jeff Glover
Yeah, we did that the other day.
crap right there. But it's good for you. It's good. So you gotta do that. You know, and the short rounds, by short rounds I mean short, intense rounds.
Yeah.
Right? If you my attitude in a 3-minute round is completely different than my attitude in a 20-minute round, or even, I mean, the ultimate, and believe it or not, my attitude in a 20-minute round is different from my attitude in a no time limit round.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially because in regular training, even if you get the submission, if I submit you in 4 minutes, I still got to do another 16. So I might go all hard for 4 minutes and get the submission, but then I got to go another 16 minutes now. So I'm gonna have some tactical. Now what's different is if it's no time limit. After 4 minutes, I get you. We're kind of done. We can go again.
Yeah, but
we're also we can just be done because I got you.
But if you get them in 1 minute,
we're probably going again.
Yeah, it's like an ambiguous.
Actually, 4 minutes is probably going again too. But 8 minutes, so I might not submit you in 1 minute or even 4 minutes because I want to get you to a point where I know I'm just going to have to do this one time.
Yeah.
The psychology. But so yes, you have to roll. Now, but you still need to get stronger, right? And a classic example of this is Big Andy Burke, right? Great jiu-jitsu, but he wasn't super strong.
Yeah.
And I said to him, hey, start doing pull-ups, start doing push-ups and dips and squats. Just start to him. And he did.
Yeah.
He listened to me. And in a matter of a month, he felt completely different because he wasn't working out at all. He was just rolling, and he was rolling hardcore, but just rolling compared to actually getting stronger. And then he went on to powerlifting and Olympic lifting, and now it's like, okay, I got to contend with actual strength and power here. So that definitely makes a difference. You know, his skill was getting better, but it wasn't. I was feeling his skill getting better, but we're all getting better at the same time. But all of a sudden, he started getting stronger. So strength, that's the strength part, right? Now the conditioning part, same thing. Jiu-jitsu allows you to rest. And that's actually a positive attribute of your jiu-jitsu game if you can rest while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Right? That's one of the good that proves that you know what you're doing. Now, that's actually a negative when it comes to working out, because if you do something like a row or a bike or a sprint or a Metcon workout on a timer, there ain't no mercy. Slacking is not rewarded. You're racing against the clock, and so those things are going to push you faster for longer periods of time, harder than just a roll will. So, bottom line, for strength and conditioning in jiu-jitsu, yeah, you got to do jiu-jitsu for sure. Got to be your base. And then you've got to do strength training to get stronger. And that's deads and squats and clean and jerks and snatches and overhead squats and all the key lifts. And that means doing singles and doubles and 4s and 5s and sets of 20. I mean, it means getting stronger. Mm-hmm. And then you got to work your metabolic conditioning. And how do you do that? You go hard. You go metabolic conditioning. That's what you do. You do Metcons, right? You mix in lighter weights, doing more repetitions, short, and you got to mix up the rounds too. Going short rounds, long rounds. Tabata. Do you know what Tabata is?
Yes.
The Tabata protocol.
I don't know the exact. Is there exact numbers?
There is an exact number. The exact number for the Tabata protocol.
Sure.
is
30-30?
Nope. 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest.
Oh, okay.
So for me, that's like the shortest rounds you're doing is 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. Then you got to also do long rounds. And then you do, a lot of times I do 3 on, 1 off for rounds. That's a boxing, right? A lot of times I'm doing 5 on, 1 off. That's MMA. And then above that, you start to get to jiu-jitsu, which is 10 minutes, 1 off. But what's interesting is if you're doing a 10-minute round and then 1 off, and then another 10-minute round and then 1 off, that blurs into one big round. So a lot of times when got a guy that's competing black belt or he's doing a 20-minute fight or a 10-minute fight, a 10-minute grappling match, 1 round of 10 minutes or 1 round of 15 minutes, you got to have them take a bigger break in between sometimes during the training so that they're actually coming in there fresh and they can work through the problem again. Otherwise, they're just going through the 1 hour roll situation level the whole time, which is not good for them. And obviously, you got to learn technique. You got to practice technique because jiu-jitsu is what's going to win. And like I just had somebody hit me up on social media and they said, because I told a story at some point on this podcast about rolling with a black belt girl for the first time. It was the first time I ever rolled with an actual black belt girl, and I was thinking, I better bring my A game a little bit so I don't get caught here. And then as soon as I started rolling with her, I was like, that's not happening. And the guy says, does this mean that you can't defeat a stronger opponent with jiu-jitsu? And I said, no, absolutely. I watch girls, lighter, weaker girls, tap out bigger, stronger guys on the regular. Yeah. But what that situation was, not only was I bigger and stronger, but I'm also skilled at jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
So doesn't apply.
Yeah. And there's this element of jiu-jitsu, and this actually kind of goes back to when Andy. When you get Andy with his skill and technique, and then you add some strength and conditioning to it, it's like, so what you do if you're not big and strong, you can't really bully anyone on the mat. And bully, I don't mean bully. I mean like you can't just turn on this like. You're saying if you're not
big and strong.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Jeff Glover bully people? Because I have.
Well, he bullies it in a different way. So, and that's what I mean by bully. Like you can't just impose your strength on someone.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you.
You can impose your technique.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, Jeff Glover will bully guys on the mat if they're out of line, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. But it's in a different kind of way.
So you're talking about, you can't go strength. You can't just start physically bullying them. Yeah. You have to technically bully them.
Yes. So
I'll accept that.
Yeah. So let's say your technique is similar, but you have straight up weight, strength, and conditioning. Yeah. It really plays a big factor.
For sure.
And not to say that you'll be able to necessarily tap the guy out, but him trying to tap you out when you have strength, conditioning, and size, it's like it just gets real hard.
No, for sure. And unless the key component there that you mentioned is that I have to have similar. Yeah. Because you can be a 235-pound guy, super strong athlete, and if you don't know jiu-jitsu, Jeff Glover's going to wrap you up like you don't even know what's happening. He's 150 pounds.
Yeah.
And I've seen him do that, obviously.
With roughly 100% certainty.
Even beyond roughly 100%, it is really, really close to 100%.
Yeah.
If you don't know jiu-jitsu, 245-pound muscle head, going against Jeff Glover, you're getting tapped out.
Even if you do know jiu-jitsu. For sure. There was a video, I think is Grappler's Quest. I think it's still online right now.
Yeah.
Jeff Glover goes against this huge guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he was maybe...
And that guy knew some level of jiu-jitsu?
He was a jiu-jitsu fighter, yeah. It was a jiu-jitsu match.
Yeah.
And, oh, man, it's just crazy to watch.
And that was when Jeff was like 13 or something.
And he was crazy back then. He's still crazy. But, yeah. So the girl, the girl thing, and I remember that question. It was on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
It was like, hey, doesn't jiu-jitsu allow you?
Yes.
Yeah. So again, perfect, exact. I mean, that's the answer there.
Yeah.
Because you have all this experience, but you know how we always talk about, like when you lock up with someone,
Yeah,
you can get a really good idea of what they're about to bring to you.
Yeah, unless it's James Nielsen. Then you lock up and you're like, what is about? This should be pretty easy. Oh, I'm getting swept.
Yeah, you're
How
a little
did that
bit
just
confused.
happen?
For sure. There are exceptions, for sure. But generally speaking, even just, not even beyond just strength in their grip and their rigidity and their,
you can feel the either like they're relaxed. To me, that's an indicator. Yeah. Like someone that just like,
it's one of them,
they feel relaxed. You're like, okay, this guy probably knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because the person that doesn't know what they're doing, they're going all psycho.
Yes. Making like little micro moves that are incorrect. Yeah. Just even putting their foot right there. It's like, bro, your foot should not be right there right now, kind of thing.
Yeah, you can tell real quick.
Yeah. So, but it does go into the strength part as well. So like, when you grab someone's wrist or they grab your wrist or something like that, you're like, okay. Because a lot of jiu-jitsu, this is weird. A lot of jiu-jitsu is knowing what's important and what's not important.
For sure.
So these...
That's not just jiu-jitsu either, by the way. Because I just talked about that with kids and with being a leader. And you want to expend your leadership capital trying to get your team to do something that's not really truly necessary. Yeah. That's not going to help your cause.
Yeah. It'll jam you.
And it's not going to help you in jiu-jitsu if you're focused on something that's not important. And to know what's important and what's not is very important as a leader, as a parent, and as on the jiu-jitsu player mat of justice.
And the mats of justice. And very hard, by the way. It takes like a lot of experience. Yeah. So you consider these guys who are like if you do a light roll with a really, really high level guy, that's when you can start to see, okay, this guy really thinks that this arm position is really important because he'll fight till the death to kind of maintain it, So, but back to the girl real quick, the girl situation. Mm-hmm. When you lock up with someone strength-wise, you feel, like I said, what they're about to bring. So again, and when you have the more experience you have, the more you're gonna know with like more accuracy, and I think that's what you.
And actually, this point of taking that point and transferring it into leadership is so critical. And I'll tell you, I am really good at knowing what's important and what's not, and just being. And you can see people that get all spun up about things, and just okay, they're spun up about something. It's the same thing with family life. Your wife gets all spun up about something. I'm like, oh, what are we gonna do? Oh, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, and we're gonna be okay. Or you want to focus all your time and energy on that? That's fine. Go ahead. That's cool. I'll support you, and you can make it happen. But think about how important something really is when you're getting spun up about something. Yeah. Just think about how important it really is. There's a good chance it's not that important. There's a really good chance it's not that important. Yeah. There's usually 4 or 5 things that are really important as a leader that you need to focus on. Mm. And that list, the further you go down that list, the less important things are. And I see leaders get spun up on things that are on the list number 47, and they're acting like it's the most important thing and it's going to ruin everything. And it's like, no, not that big of a deal. Yeah. So learn that.
Is that why you wear the same clothes every day?
I wear the same.
Because fashion is not important.
It's not important to me.
Not for Jocko. Those short rounds are good when you do short rounds in jiu-jitsu. And they kind of trick you too. Because like Jeff will do that. He'll be like, hey, 3-minute rounds. So you have this thing in your head like, oh, it's only 3 minutes. Just go hard. But meanwhile, you only got 30 seconds rest before you got to go again. So you're doing essentially a Metcon jiu-jitsu. And that's good.
That is good.
So for that kind of stuff. Yeah, man. It's good. But yeah, agree. I like the strength. Some guys say you don't need strength and conditioning because anytime you spend doing physical activity should be on your jiu-jitsu. They say.
That's interesting. Yeah. I would like to agree with that. It sounds good, but I would do if I'm going to do jiu-jitsu 6 hours a day. I'd still do strength and conditioning for 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes.
Well, that's one of the good things about jiu-jitsu. You can have different philosophies and still be successful. Because
That is true.
I think it's Dylan Dennis or somebody. maybe Marcelo Garcia only does jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I know. And Dean used to always try and convince me that I'm just going to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And I'd say no.
Well, Dean's all crazy strong, though.
Yeah, I know. He's
so it's kind of easy to say, just jiu-jitsu when
that's all I do is do jiu-jitsu. And I mean, I don't know. I don't do grip strength training. I can hold anything for 6 hours.
Yeah.
So, check. All right.
It is.
Next question.